Imagine this. You walk into the room and something feels different. Conversations pause for a split second. Eyes linger a moment too long. People who used to push your buttons now hesitate. They smile, but it doesn't reach their eyes. They sense it before they can name it. You've changed. You've become so disciplined that it unsettles them. And in that moment, you understand a truth most people spend their entire lives avoiding. The world doesn't reward the weak, the impulsive, or the emotionally scattered. It bows, however subtly, to those who have mastered themselves. You feel it in your gut right now, don't you? That quiet recognition. Because somewhere along the way, you've tasted what happens when you lose control. A reaction you couldn't stop. A promise you broke to yourself. A moment where someone else dictated your mood, your time, your direction. Machiavelli understood this game better than almost anyone. He didn't write fairy tales about virtue winning in the end. He studied power as it actually exists, raw and unfiltered, driven by human nature. And at the core of that power is discipline. Not the flashy, motivational kind you see on social media. The cold, quiet, terrifying kind that reshapes how people perceive you and how you move through the world. Most people believe discipline is about waking up at 5 a.m. or grinding through endless tasks. They miss the deeper truth. Real discipline is a weapon. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it, especially when no one is watching, especially when it costs you something in the moment. When you develop this, people don't just respect you, they become wary. Because a disciplined person is predictable in their strength and unpredictable in their moves. They cannot be easily baited. They cannot be easily broken. Here's where it gets dangerous. Most people assume others admire discipline. In reality, many fear it. Your consistency exposes their inconsistency. Your emotional control highlights their chaos. Your refusal to react reveals how much they live at the mercy of their impulses. This is the first principle. Discipline creates distance. It places you above the petty currents that drown everyone else. Think about the last time someone tried to provoke you. Maybe at work. Maybe in a relationship. An offhand comment. A passive challenge. The average person bites. They defend. They explain, they escalate. They give away their power in the very act of reacting. But you, once you cross a certain threshold, you simply observe. You don't flinch. You don't need to. That silence. It's louder than any shout. It makes them fill the void with their own anxiety. They start wondering what you know that they don't. What you're capable of that they aren't. This is human nature at play. People are wired to read threats and opportunities. A highly disciplined person registers as both. They are stable, which is useful, but they are also beyond easy influence, which is threatening. Machiavelli would approve. He taught that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Discipline earns you a measured fear, the kind that commands respect without requiring cruelty. Take a moment and ask yourself, have you ever watched someone crumble under pressure while you held steady? That contrast is power. Most people never realize this. They chase popularity. They chase approval. They wonder why their influence feels hollow. The strategically intelligent person builds an inner fortress first. Everything else flows from there. But here's what nobody talks about. Discipline isn't just about resisting temptation. It's about engineering your environment and your mind so temptation loses its grip. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop waiting for motivation. You decide, then you execute. This shift changes how others experience you. You become the person who says they'll do something and does it. Not sometimes. Not when convenient. Always. In a world of flaking commitments and broken words, this reliability is rare. It makes people trust your judgment even when they don't understand your methods. More importantly, it makes them fear disappointing you. Let's go deeper. The second principle is emotional discipline as the ultimate social intelligence. Most people believe they are rational beings making logical choices. Machiavelli knew better. He saw that emotions drive almost everything: fear, envy, desire, pride. The person who cannot control these becomes a puppet. The one who can becomes the puppeteer, or better yet, the one who cannot be puppet. Picture two colleagues in a high-stakes meeting. One reacts to every slight, every interruption, every challenge. Their face flushes, their voice rises. They reveal their insecurities in real time. The other sits calm, composed, listening more than speaking. When they do speak, their words carry weight. Which one do people instinctively turn to for leadership? Which one makes others uneasy because they cannot be read? You already know the answer. The disciplined one. They understand that every emotional reaction is information leaked. Every unchecked impulse is power surrendered. Sun Tzu spoke of knowing yourself and knowing your enemy. Discipline gives you both. You know your triggers before others can exploit them. You know their triggers because you watch without being pulled into the game. This creates a profound psychological advantage. People project their own chaos onto you. They assume you must be feeling what they would feel in your position. When you don't, it confuses them. It scares them. They start overthinking. They attribute to you greater cunning, greater patience, greater strength than you may even possess yet. Perception becomes reality. I want you to reflect for a second. Think of a time when someone's calm unnerved you. Maybe a negotiator, maybe a parent, maybe a rival. Their steadiness forced you to question your own approach. That's the effect you can cultivate, not through force, but through mastery of yourself. Most people never reach this level because they mistake comfort for strength. They avoid discomfort. They chase ease. The self-mastered individual does the opposite. They lean into what is hard. They train their mind like a warrior trains the body. Slowly, deliberately, relentlessly. This brings us to the third principle: discipline as reputation architecture. Machiavelli was obsessed with appearances. Not because he was shallow, but because he understood that in the eyes of others, appearance often is reality. Your discipline builds a reputation that precedes you. People hear stories. They notice patterns. They see you choosing long-term power over short-term pleasure. Average people chase instant validation. They post their goals. They announce their plans. Then life happens and they fade. The strategically intelligent person moves in silence. They let results speak. When others eventually notice the transformation, it hits harder because it seemed to come from nowhere. One day you're just different, more focused, more decisive, less available for nonsense. This silence is strategic. It prevents premature judgment. It prevents others from sabotaging your efforts before they bear fruit. In the realm of power dynamics, information is currency. The less others know about your internal struggles, the more power you retain. Consider the leader who seems effortlessly in control. You don't see the early mornings, the rejected distractions, the quiet sacrifices. You only see the outcome. That mystery adds to their aura. People respect what they cannot fully explain. They fear what they cannot easily disrupt. But discipline isn't only about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. The fourth principle is identity-level discipline. Most people have goals. Few have become the kind of person who naturally achieves them. There's a difference. You stop saying, "I want to be disciplined." You start living as the disciplined man or woman. Your choices flow from this new identity. When temptation arises, it's not a debate. It's simply not who you are anymore. This is where real freedom begins. Freedom from constant negotiation with your lesser impulses. Psychologically intelligent people understand this transformation. They use small, consistent actions to rewire their self-image. They keep promises to themselves because breaking them erodes the foundation of their power. Over time, this compounds. You become dangerous to anyone who would seek to control or undermine you. Here's a hidden truth. Many people who appear powerful are actually fragile. They rely on external validation, status, or coercion. Strip those away and they collapse. The disciplined individual stands on internal ground. They don't need the applause. They don't need the title. Their power is quiet and therefore more enduring. This knowledge is for self-protection, awareness, and personal mastery, not for harming or manipulating innocent people. When you understand human nature at this level, you naturally become less exploitable. You see attempts at control before they land. You protect your time, your energy, your focus, your peace. Let's examine the fifth principle: discipline in relationships and social dynamics. Most people believe strong relationships require constant emotional expression. They think vulnerability means spilling every feeling. Machiavelli would smile at that naivety. He knew relationships are arenas of influence. Discipline here means choosing when to speak, when to listen, when to withdraw, and when to engage. You've probably seen it. The person who overshares loses mystery and leverage. The person who reacts to every emotional wave becomes exhausting. The disciplined person offers depth selectively. They give respect, but never at the cost of their sovereignty. People feel the boundary. They respect it, even if they test it. In friendships, at work, in romance, this creates a fascinating effect. Others invest more because your attention feels earned. They value your counsel more because it's not given freely. They fear losing access to your steadiness because they know how rare it is. Contrast this with the average dynamic. Drama, reactivity, endless cycles of highs and lows. The strategically aware person steps outside these currents. They bring calm without coldness, strength without aggression. This balance is magnetic and intimidating. The sixth principle reveals something even darker. Discipline exposes the fragility of others. When you hold yourself to high standards, you unintentionally highlight where others fall short. Not through words, but through example. This triggers discomfort, envy, sometimes quiet resentment. Many will try to pull you back down to their level. They'll call you intense, rigid, no fun. Recognize this for what it is: a defense mechanism. Your light makes their shadow visible. The wise response is not to dim yourself. It is to understand their reaction and remain unmoved. This is power, not the need to prove anything, but the freedom to continue your path regardless of the noise. Sun Tzu taught that the greatest victories come without fighting. Your discipline achieves this. You win internal battles that others don't even see. The external world begins to align because you are no longer at war with yourself. Now consider the practical architecture of this kind of discipline. It starts with ruthless prioritization. You decide what matters and cut everything else with surgical precision. You protect your mornings, your focus blocks, your recovery time like a king protects his borders. You say no more often, not out of arrogance, but out of loyalty to your higher self. You track your commitments not to punish yourself, but to build evidence of your own reliability. Small wins stack. Identity solidifies. The person who once struggled with consistency becomes unrecognizable, even to themselves. Most people quit when it gets hard. The self-mastered push because they understand the psychological reward on the other side. That quiet pride, that unshakable confidence, that sense of dominion over your own mind. There's a moment in this journey that changes everything. It's when discipline stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like your natural state. Temptations lose their power. Distractions fade into irrelevance. You operate from a deeper center. People sense this shift. Some admire it. Others pull away. Both reactions serve you. This is the Machiavellian reality. Not everyone will celebrate your growth. Some prefer the old, more manageable version of you. Let them go. Your circle naturally tightens around those who respect strength, who value depth, who operate at a similar level. As you continue, you'll notice something remarkable. Opportunities appear that never showed up before. People listen differently. Challenges that once overwhelmed you now feel manageable. This isn't luck. It's the compound effect of self-mastery meeting a world that desperately needs it. The seventh principle ties it all together. Discipline as strategic foresight. The impulsive live in the moment and suffer the consequences later. The disciplined see further. They understand that today's choices sculpt tomorrow's position. They sacrifice comfort now for dominance later. Machiavelli studied princes who rose and fell. The ones who lasted understood timing, preparation, and self-control. They didn't react to every crisis. They anticipated. They built reserves of will, knowledge, and resources. You can do the same. In your life, this means playing the long game in your career, your health, your relationships, your reputation. It means investing in skills when others chase trends. It means building character when others chase clout. The rewards are not always immediate, but they are inevitable. You might be wondering where to begin if this feels distant right now. Start small but non-negotiable. One habit, one boundary, one promise to yourself that you keep no matter what. Protect it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, the quality of your life does. Watch how your mind strengthens. Watch how people respond. Watch how the world starts treating you differently. This is the hidden game. Most never see it. You now do. The eighth principle is perhaps the most liberating. True discipline eventually brings peace. Not the fragile peace of avoidance, but the deep peace of alignment. When your actions match your values, when your words match your deeds, inner conflict dissolves. You stop fighting yourself. That energy redirects outward with devastating clarity. People who sense this peace around you often feel unsettled by it. They carry noise. You carry signal. They sense the contrast. Some will try to create chaos to bring you back into their familiar turbulence. Your discipline becomes the shield and the sword. This is what it means to become so disciplined it scares them, not because you threaten them directly, but because your presence reminds them of their own untapped potential and their current excuses. You become living proof that another way exists. Take a breath and feel that. The power is already stirring inside you. The awareness is growing. The path is clear. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You only need to decide and then act like the person you are becoming. Most people will watch this video, feel inspired for a day or two, then return to their old patterns. The rare few will use this as a turning point. They will begin the quiet work. They will choose discipline daily. They will transform. Which one will you be? The world makes more sense now, doesn't it? The hidden motivations, the social games, the psychological currents. You see them. More importantly, you stand above them. You control yourself first, and in doing so, you gain influence over everything else. This understanding is your advantage. Guard it. Use it wisely. Build the kind of discipline that doesn't just change your life. It changes how the world responds to you. If this resonated, if you feel that shift happening even now, do one thing. Hit the like button. It helps this message reach others ready to wake up. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next revelation. And comment below, what is the one discipline you are committing to starting today? Your words have power. Speak them. You are no longer the same. You are becoming something rarer, something stronger, something that commands respect without demanding it. The kind of person Machiavelli would have recognized as a prince in their own right. Carry this with you. The discipline, the awareness, the quiet power. The game is yours now. Play it well.